Ghelani, who's Director of Policy and Practice. Now, that's a company that has worked on the implementation of universal credit. Do you accept that there were problems then? Good morning to you.
Good morning, Nick. Yes, absolutely. There's been problems with the rollout of universal credit from day one, really. I think what's welcome is that there are changes being made belatedly, as Andy Walton's pointed out. But as someone who's involved in universal credit, the policy idea is the concept to try and simplify the system and make the current very complicated benefit system easier for people to navigate. It's frustrating to see issues like this getting picked up so late, but it is good to see a Secretary of State acknowledging the problems and taking real action to try and improve the situation. For
while the previous system, rather Byzantine, this one it may be easier, but in some instances, of course, it's financially damaging. You can have people being over £100, sometimes towards £200 worse off. Mr. Ghelani.
Some people are worse off, some people are better off. Any major change to the benefit system on the scale of universal credit is going to have people who gain and who lose. But people who are...
But these people are at the very bottom in something. I appreciate you're not... I appreciate you didn't actually put it in. You're not a member of the government, but you did work on it. These people, in some instances, are at the very bottom of the strata. Was it necessarily fair to do it in this fashion?
I think any attempt to simplify the system was always going to create people that gained and people that lost. That's the only point I wanted to make. But practical steps for those on the front line and listeners you may have that are possibly going to move on to universal credit or have already moved on to universal credit, steps they can take to become better off involve asking their work coach for an interest-free advance. That means that they can get money up front, and unfortunately this does have to be repaid, but it is interest-free. It does mean that you can solve any immediate issues you're facing with your cash flow right now. And there has been some mitigation put in place. What I can say is that the Secretary of State is this organisation, like ours and many others, to develop practical ways in which money can reach people sooner, and some of the problems with universal credit can be ironed out.
Lastly, how confident are you that they will iron it out, and how long is it likely to take?
I think fundamentally universal credit is a better platform on which to build than the legacy system that it replaced. So while there are issues with it, what we often forget is that there are a lot of issues with the legacy benefit system. And if we can all focus on what the problems are with universal credit, as I think the Secretary of State is doing, we can work to improve that system and make it considerably better than the one it replaces, rather than the position where it's in now, where it causes quite a few issues for people who are transitioning across. The final point I would make is the use of food banks isn't just to do with universal credit. It's to do with the fact that so much money has been taken out of the benefit system as prices have been going up. And I think if you sort of ignore that and just think you can fix universal credit and food bank use will go away, you've actually got to recognise that people on the lowest incomes are less well off than they were 3 or 4 years ago.
I must leave it there. Deven Ghelani, thank you. You're Director of the Organisation Policy and Practice. You helped put together a plan to bring it in 11 after